Hi, my name is Ann Edenfield-Sweet. I'm the Executive Director and the founder of Wings for Life International. And I am so glad you're with us tonight. Boy, do we have a very interesting man with us. His name is Bobby McMullen. He's from Albuquerque. He went to Highland High School, for those of us that are here in Albuquerque, and graduated in '78. Then he went off to the U.S. Air Force, so he had an Air Force career. Then he decided that he was an entrepreneur and he was going to start his first business, which he did and sold for over 6 figures. And then he went on to start numerous other ventures, earning an associate degree in accounting from CNM. Then he went on to make millions of dollars, had 6 children, but here is the most interesting part of all of it. And ultimately, he served 11 years in prison. Now, when he got out, when he was paroled, he had earned 3 associate degrees, additional ones. And with these experiences, he immediately started 2 new corporations. So he's going to teach us all about how to start your own business here. And he is now currently working on his master's degree in business analyst at UNM. And he doesn't just believe in being an entrepreneur. You know what? He is one. And we are going to learn all about it today. And I am just thrilled to welcome Bobby McMullen.
Welcome. My name is Bobby McMullen. I want to thank you for allowing me this opportunity to express my belief in entrepreneurialism. For the next 30 minutes or so, I'll be your guide on an incredible journey of discovery into the fascinating world of entrepreneurialism, its meaning, its necessity, and how it is relevant to our everyday world. This presentation is brought to you by the good people at Wings for Life. Life skills imparted to families through education. So what exactly is entrepreneurialism? Am I one? Are you one? Is it contagious? And most importantly, do you have to be able to spell entrepreneur to be one? E-N-T-R-E-P-R-E-N-E-U-R, entrepreneur. And no, you don't have to be able to spell it to be one. As a matter of fact, I still can't spell it without a really good spell checker. The Merriam-Webster Dictionary defines an entrepreneur as one who organizes, manages, and assumes the risk of a business or enterprise. In this context, I'm clearly an entrepreneur because I live to build things, especially businesses. However, I'm not too thrilled about managing or assuming the risks of a business, but I do love building them, from dream to turnkey. So I guess I am still an entrepreneur. Entrepreneurs are builders, dreamers, visionaries. In fact, entrepreneurs are more than just dreamers. They're incredible people. They are the CFO, the Chief Visionary Officer. They have the vision. Think of Jeff Bezos, Elon Musk, Bill Gates, Mark Zuckerberg. They are burning embers that make wildfires. They have the spark that electrifies the machine. Anyone can be that spark. Just believe, commit, and work very, very hard, and someday this will be you. First, entrepreneurialism is an understanding. It's a way of looking at the world that is different. Part of what makes an entrepreneur is the ability to see opportunities that are invisible to everyone else. You'll understand what I mean by invisible to everyone else once you have poured out your deeply thought out dreams of building a magic carpet to ride around the universe and your family and friends think you need to seek psychiatric help. According to the website Purple Cow, the 5 reasons why people become entrepreneurs are: they admire other entrepreneurs, or they don't want to have a boss, They can't handle a 9 to 5 job, or maybe they like risks, or they could just have no other choice. But I'd like to add a few more reasons to that list. How about advancing a social cause, or building a personal brand? And then there's the need to find pride and fulfillment in doing something you believe in. Do you feel that your abilities exceed what an employer needs? Are you more committed to the cause than anyone else? And let's not forget about the one reason that gets mentioned the most. Learn to embrace failure. But don't buy that. No one wants to learn to embrace failure. Rebounding from failure is a necessary skill, one you will learn along the way, but not something you need to start embracing right away. Okay, maybe you're just a closet entrepreneur. The point is that everyone can be an entrepreneur. The difference is in internal motivation, the deep desire, not the opportunity, not the financial resources, not education, not even success, nor is it found on a resume. What makes an entrepreneur is something inside that's invisible to the eye. Yet, entrepreneurialism is detectable in the passionate words, unswerving engagement, and sometimes the irrational commitment to what seems like a crazy cause to everyone else. If you are an entrepreneur, you will feel it deep inside. You may not have the words to express it, but it will be unmistakable to any other entrepreneur. Now that you're a little more than just intrigued, let's turn to the mechanics of the machine that you will need to ride the roller coaster of entrepreneurial success. Oh yeah, by the way, entrepreneurialism is contagious. Business is a sort of therapeutic couch for entrepreneurs, a sort of swimming pool for indulging enthusiasts. In business, just as in the swimming pool, everyone has some natural ability to float. Here too, the waters teach many lessons, and everyone swallows a little water from time to time. The key to keeping your head above water is to embrace the environment, learn the rules, and just keep moving. Okay now, don't be alarmed by the following list. Some items may apply to your situation. Most, at least at first, will not. Remember, do not get discouraged. Live it. You got this. To begin, take an inventory of what skills, abilities, and experiences you have and how you can bring them to the table. This is just the starting point. Taking what you have and capitalizing off of it. Think about where you are going. Next, start plotting the simplest path to get to your goal. Always be planning, always be anticipating, and always be recalculating. Keep in mind, flexibility. In business, nothing happens as planned or designed. You must keep your focus on where you are going, always, and never stop moving in that direction. Life will throw more roadblocks your way than there are potholes in the city streets. Learn to swivel and swerve. Business success is a constantly moving target. Use your passion as the motivating force to keep you focused and always pushing towards your goal. Even when the challenges seem overwhelming, it's your enthusiasm that will see you through the thick and the thin. Focus, focus, focus. Think about how your business will affect your life, your family, and your relationships. Sacrifice is the key word here. You will need to be devoted to the cause. That means giving up, at least temporarily, some of the activities around you while you are pushing your dreams forward. Try to understand in advance the time commitments that will be required. Where will you be conducting your business? At home? In a retail store? A warehouse? An online marketplace? Will you need partners to make your dream a reality? or can you complete the work on your own by yourself? Always be narrowing your attention and be constantly studying the marketplace around you. What is working for your competition and how are they making it work? I found this great quote by John C. Maxwell. It's said that a wise person learns from his mistakes. A wiser one learns from others' mistakes. But the wisest person of all learns from others' successes. It is important to understand the other players in your chosen industry. They're not really your competitors. You are your only real competition. Get into their heads, see their vision, their passion, their desire. Try to capitalize on their hard work by embracing their wisdom and moving forward from there. Now sit down and think about the marketplace for your business, for your ideas. Planning requires you to ask yourself some of these very basic questions. Is your idea, product, or service in a niche market? If so, what is its growth potential? Does your idea, product, or service solve a problem? How important is your solution? Can your idea, product, or service be expanded in the future? Will it become outdated before becoming profitable? Who are the potential competitors in your field or area? Are they big, Goliaths, or just mom and pops? Ask everyone you know or meet, friends, family, acquaintances, if they need or will use your idea, product, or service. Ask them what they think it's worth, what they like and what they don't like, how they would improve it, and do they think it will catch on? This is your chance to get real feedback. This is your most valuable market research. And again, don't get discouraged. Get online and investigate all you can about your idea, product, or service. Has it been done before? How did it turn out? What mistakes were made? Can you do better or more? Remember, research is cheap compared to failure. Make it your motto to never, never, never stop researching. Now, let's turn to the mechanics of building a budget. Again, it's study time, so pay close attention. These are necessary questions that you need to try and understand in the planning process. Don't worry if you're unable to answer all of them. At least be aware of their presence and possible impact. Now, you're going to want to know what the startup costs in dollars and cents are. Will your business location require remodeling to meet your needs? How about your production costs per unit? You'll need to know this in order to determine your profits per unit. And then, are there employees, which means payroll? How about advertising, marketing materials, and production costs? A big part of the marketing budget is the promotional costs for online, print, TV, and radio time. What about equipment rentals, stuff like shelving, specialized tools, refrigerators, forklifts? Don't forget about the physical or online location costs. Insurance, utilities, rent, shipping, all these items are called overhead and are subtracted from your profits before it reaches your pocket. What about inventory? Will you need to build stock to fill the shelves? And will you need additional storage? Finally, will you have loans that need to be repaid from investors, from family, from friends that you'll be in debt to? Keep this in mind. Business is a practical matter, like cooking. First, you start by determining the necessary ingredients. Then you assemble them in just the right order and amounts. And then shake and bake them into an irresistible edible. Being an entrepreneur can seem overwhelming at first, but don't get lost in the weeds. This is about desire, motivation, and vision. The mechanics are easily learnable, and with enough practice, you can master them. Just remember why you are an entrepreneur and what the desire is all about. being your own boss, creating great new products or services, or feeling true fulfillment, having an unlimited income potential, controlling your own success. How about developing the real person inside of you, or mastering new skills and abilities? This is about creating a real and solid future for yourself and your loved ones. You're ultimately gaining more personal time and freedom to live your life. You can take advantages of tax write-offs and government incentives, and you can leverage the world around you to make money work for you, not the other way around. Of course, with every rainbow, there are a few raindrops. The potential for failure in business, like life, is very high. According to Investopedia, in 2019, the failure rate of startups was around 90%. Research concludes 21.5% of startups fail in the first year, 30% in the second year, 50% in the fifth year, and 70% in the 10th year. According to business owners, reasons for failure include money running out, being in the wrong market, a lack of research, and bad partnerships. Failure is clearly the scariest word in the world. In business, it's almost expected. The greatest skill that one can possess is the ability to expect failure and to quickly recover from it. Just remember what Zig Ziglar said. It's not how far you fall, but how high you bounce that counts. You know, we're taught from our birth to our death that failure is bad. But in fact, failure is the most critical mechanism to learning. Vince Lombardi once said, "Winners never quit and quitters never win." Business teaches through failure and rewards persistence. One last word on failure from J.K. Rowling. It's impossible to live without failing at something unless you live so cautiously that you might as well as not have lived at all, in which case you have failed by default. In my life, I have built a couple dozen businesses. Most were complete failures, but the successes, they paid for all the schooling and so much more. I love all of my dreams. My businesses were like children. Some were winners, big winners, and some were, well, losers. But no matter, I love them all with all of my heart. Remember, dream big, fail hard, and recover with grace. The world is yours simply for the taking. As I bring this discussion to a close, let me remind you that entrepreneurialism is extremely contagious, universally beneficial, and a little part of each of us. If you feel an unexplainable passion deep inside to create, to build, or to lead, you are blessed. Entrepreneurs are not just business people. They're dreamers, schemers, winners, and losers. But most of all, they're determined, creative, and impassioned. Let me leave you with a final and great quote by an unidentified student of Warren G. Tracy. Entrepreneurship is living a few years of your life like most people won't, so you can spend the rest of your life like most people can't. I hope this presentation leaves every one of you totally convinced that you are an entrepreneur and that you need to run out and start your brand right away. Again, I would like to thank you for giving me this opportunity to share my love and passion for building businesses. Entrepreneurialism, your business, your idea.
Wow. That was fantastic. That was just really wonderful. But now I want to get down into who is this guy, Bobby? So, oh my gosh, he handed me, look at this resume he's got, all these things that he's done. It's really impressive. Boy, all the various jobs that you've had. But first thing that I want to have you address, because so many people in our audience are in prison, or it's their family members are listening and trying to help the loved ones. So share what you did while you were in prison. Because a lot of people, I remember I talked to one guy and I said, what'd you do? 29 and a half years. He thought, and finally he said, well, I guess I went to the weight pile. Well, you might have gone to the weight pile, but what else did you do?
Well, the key for me in prison to keep my mentality was staying busy. I worked the entire time I was in prison. Every time I got to a new location, I signed up for a job. I stayed busy, and I also took school. I got 3 associate's degrees while I was in prison. I was in prison for 11 years, and I was in almost every prison in New Mexico, so I've been to all of them almost. But the real key to sanity was just staying busy. So working every day, going to school every night.
Now, it's interesting the jobs that you worked in, so I want you to talk about that because, well, share a little of what you were doing before you went into prison, and then how did you utilize that knowledge in prison? Because there are a lot of people that are talented like you, so share that.
Well, you know, my main goal in life was understanding electronics and learning computers and stuff. And that's what I did when I was in the military. That's why I joined, was for the education. And I got a really good education in electronics. When I got out, I had only my skills, nothing else. So I decided to apply those skills that I had learned to doing something, and I started an alarm company, security company, putting in alarm systems, access controls, fire alarms, those kind of things on it. And that naturally led to a central monitoring station monitoring the alarms. And then after half a dozen years or so of that, building that business up, I sold it. That was my first business that I sold. I thought I was going to retire. I made enough money to pay off all my bills, buy a house, give a good severance package to my employees, and I thought I was going to retire. Here I was, 29 years old, and I wanted to
29.
retire. Yeah. That lasted about 3 months, and the boredom just drove me insane.
Yep.
And so after that, I went back to school. I said, well, at least let me go back to school. I started a couple more businesses. One was a juice company, fresh squeeze natural juices. Mm-hmm. I loved the product. I loved what we did, but it was very labor intensive, and there was a very low margin on it, so it never made it. I started another jewelry company. That didn't work. And then I had lots of friends that I'd put alarm systems in for. I put in several hundred alarms over the years, and they kept saying, we don't want anyone to service our alarm but you. So I started another alarm company. This time my focus was on high-end special alarms for people who felt that security was important, that there was more to a security system than just a label. Mm-hmm. And so I did that until I went to prison. That was one of the businesses that I did. But I did a whole lot of other things also. I started a bar, a liquor club, a liquor bar. I had a pizza place, a retail clothing store. I owned a local theater for a while, ran that.
Oh my goodness, wow.
So lots and lots of stuff as far as that goes over the years. And I'm basically kind of multi-talented. I can do just about anything if I set my mind to it. So when I got a good idea, I would think about it, I would do research about it, and if I thought it was really a solid idea, I would jump in and give it a try. Most of my ideas I'd run for a year and a half. Unfortunately, most of them didn't make any money. Most of them lost money. But I still love them, and it's hard to let go of something that you love. So you keep saying, well, it's going to make money. It's going to make money. Next month we'll pay the bills. Next month we'll break even. And at some point in time, you learn how to just let go. But the few businesses that I did have that were very successful, they made tons and tons of money for me. And I was able to use that money to constantly keep the irons in the fire and keep putting more irons in the fire.
To do something new.
To do something new. And that's what's the important thing, is never give up, never stop, constantly keep improving, constantly keep trying different things. Even if you have a successful business, you're only going to be on top for so long if you don't keep trying, if you don't keep innovating, and you don't keep trying to find new avenues to make additional resources in that sense on it. I mean, if you think about the most successful businesses around us, they may have one or two or many products, but they're constantly innovating on those products. They're constantly updating them, bringing out new versions of them. And that's necessary. If not, the competition will clobber you. They will take what you're doing and they'll make it better and they'll keep going.
Yep. So now, okay, you had that huge background. But in prison, what did you do? What were the jobs that you did in prison? Because I think that's very
I had
impressive.
a lot of jobs in prison.
Yeah.
You know, I certainly had all the basic jobs that everybody else has, sweeping, mopping, cleaning, those kind of things on it. But I worked in a print shop. I worked as a press operator for a year or two, where I actually learned all of the offset presses and all of the other printing stuff that goes on in a press shop, like photography, plate making, and those kind of things on it. But, you know, I had lots of soft skills, lots of computer skills and stuff like that. So ultimately became an admin clerk. So at that point in time, I was doing payroll, I was doing procurement, I was doing all the kind of things that a business does in the outside world, but I was just doing it for a business within the system, within the prison system as far as that goes. After a few years, I moved to another location. I got into school there and I started tutoring, which was really helpful because it was in parallel with my school. I tutored the Microsoft products, so I tutored Windows, Excel, Access, Word. Got my typing speeds up to about 40 words a minute, so that helped really, really good.
Yeah.
Had a lot of time to do a lot of things in the education area. I helped a lot of people learn how to turn a computer on and how to use it. A computer is a tool, and a lot of people are stopped by the fact that they don't know how to use it or how to turn it on. But once you can turn that computer on, the whole world is right there at your footsteps. All the information, all the capabilities are all there. And that was really, really good for me. It helped me a lot with my education. And then, of course, from there, I went to my next location. And at that location, I became a maintenance guy. And I helped rebuild a cable system. I snaked a lot of drains. I cleaned a whole lot of messes up. And I did just about everything that was necessary. And I had a lot of fun at it. Most of the time it was just me and another CO who was the officer, and he would just take me around to projects and say, okay, we need the drain snake the drain, or work on the air conditioner, or this motor's not working.
But now
fix
you
this.
learned all those things.
I had some intuition about them, and I had some hand-on skills before, but I certainly learned a whole lot while I was there. The last place I worked at was in the prison in Santa Fe, and I did a lot of the same kind of stuff there, did a lot of maintenance work there. And I worked on their refrigeration systems, I worked on the stuff in the kitchen, I worked on the cooking machines, I worked on everything there as far as that goes on it. And we kind of had run of the whole property there, so I got to go see the old prison, got to do a little bit of stuff around there, maintenance-wise on it. But the most important thing is that I was always enthusiastic about, I need to stay busy. You know, the pays range from 15 cents an hour to $1 an hour, which is just, compared to what I was making on the outside, meaningless as far as that goes.
Right.
I mean, it got me a little bit of commissary, I got a TV, I got some basics like that. But it was really more about staying busy, 8 or 10 hours a day, 5 days a week, that kind of stuff.
And doing something meaningful
Yes.
that stimulated your brain.
Keep my brain
that-
active, keep
yeah.
my brain alive.
Yeah.
That's-
So what last words of wisdom do you have for our listeners here?
Well, I think the greatest words of wisdom I have is never give up. Never quit trying. No matter how many times you get knocked down, just get back up. The successful people just get up one more time than they've been knocked down, and that's the important thing. Never give up. Never stop hoping, and never give up.
Love it. And I believe me, Wings is right on that model.
Very good.
I always close with a story. So here we go. Here's our story for today. I was trying to figure out what kind of story, and this is kind of a fun one. I'll share how I'm going to tie this in at the end. It's called Trouble Getting a Job in America. Well, John started his day early every morning, and he set his alarm, made in Japan, for 6 a.m. While his coffee pot, made in China, was perking, he shaved with his electric razor, made in Hong Kong. He put on a dress shirt, made in Sri Lanka, designer jeans, made in Singapore, and tennis shoes from Korea. After cooking his breakfast in his new electric skillet, made in India, he sat down with his calculator, made in Mexico, to see how much he could spend today. After setting his watch, from Taiwan, to the radio, made in India, he got in his car, from Germany, filled it with gas, from Saudi Arabia, and continued to search for a good-paying job in America. At the end of another yet discouraging and fruitless day, checking his computer, made in Malaysia, John decided to relax for a while. He put on his sandals from Brazil, poured himself a glass of wine, made in France, and turned on his TV, made in Indonesia, and then wondered why he couldn't find a good-paying job in America. Well, the author of this is unknown. But the solution to everything is just find your own career. Create your own business. Be an entrepreneur and go out and fulfill the need that there is. Don't go buy all this stuff from all over the place. Just go and do what you want to do and enjoy life, like Bobby has shared with us. So I am so thankful you're with us today. Now, if you're on Zoom, we're going to go right to breakout rooms, and you're going to get to talk to Bobby, and I know you're going to have a lot to ask Bobby about. If you're joining us on Facebook and YouTube, this will be the end of the presentation, but I'm reminding you that next week we have a very interesting group. It's called the Craft Group, and they're going to do fun crafts. But the craft stands for Community Reinforcement Approach and Family Training. And what they do apparently is they do family crafts that help support and strengthen families. And of course that's what we do, and I wanted to learn about these family crafts, so we're going to have that next week. So I can't wait to learn about it because I'm going to learn along with you. So thanks for being with us tonight, and I hope to see you next week, 6 o'clock, Mountain Time, through Zoom and Wings for Life. We'll see you then. Thanks so much.